Loki is a show that really took me by surprise. It sparked my curiosity like nothing else in the MCU, delivering a more personal touch, a deeper focus on who our main character, Loki, is, and his journey to uncovering the answer. The path to forming a close relationship between him and Sylvie was gradual and highly entwined in the themes of the show. The show poses serious questions about the balance between freedom and control, and executes different characters' beliefs about it in boldly contrasting ways. The corrosive nature of deception is spread throughout its entirety by Loki, Sylvie, Mobius, the TVA, and Kang. It's an incredibly ingrained theme, with ever-advancing impact on the plot. In this video, I want to dive into specifically the topic of freedom in Loki, as well as deception and love. I wish to explore the question of who Loki is, since this show did an incredible job of providing substance to his character and making him likable and sympathetic, so let's talk about it. The focus on freedom is silently implemented from the very start of the show. Loki, the free-flying, chaotic antagonist to Thor and the Avengers that does whatever the hell he wants, regardless of its impact on others, is shot down from the sky. The eagle has lost its wings, he's confined and chained, kept in check by the push of a button, his power obsolete, useless in this unknown territory. He's herded like cattle, prodded and later pruned from existence, his fancy royal armor replaced by jailware. He's reduced to just another piece of data in the system, imposing this atypical reality onto a Marvel villain, which is that you don't matter, helping to form this picture of Loki not knowing who he is. He's unaware of these greater confines that have always held him down, which runs directly contrary to the view he naively holds. According to him, he's born to be king. He's gonna conquer the universe. He's the exception to the rule of freedom being a lie. He is the one person fit for freedom. It's arrogance. This show is dedicated to hitting him over the head repeatedly until he forfeits this picture of himself. It's a powerful deconstruction of the character. He believes that his path is whichever he chooses, that his choices are his own. He yells to the judge that she will not dictate how his story ends, and yet his future is written in stone. He's bound to this particular lifestyle that's been predetermined for him, born to cause suffering and death, born to lose, which he does repeatedly. For him to be otherwise is to disrupt the very order of the universe, and without this deeper knowledge, there's no chance of him being anything else. He's forced to come to terms with this, as they can literally play his whole life out on the projector. Despite Loki claiming that they don't know anything about him, Mobius knows him better than he knows himself. He knows Loki like the audience knows Loki. It's a meta-narrative scenario where the story has become aware of his underlying narrative. Loki has to face off with this and eventually in some ways overcome it, but in others fall victim to it ultimately. It's a beautiful road the show takes, and the end result is a much more complex character who grows through the insight he gains on himself from start to finish. And this is real stuff. Unraveling the mystery of oneself is the key to becoming a more complete person, and the MCU can continue to benefit from this work for years to come. The first domino to fall for Loki is his facade of strength, for he's the weak one, hurting people to inspire fear, the quality of others that he demonized, revealing to us some underlying self-hatred that he holds. It's these moments of honesty, in a story so muddied with deception, that stand out so brightly. From Loki's perspective, Mobius is lying to him. He lies to himself about the TVA. Loki lies to everyone, including himself. His life is a lie, the TVA are liars, the timekeepers are a lie, Sylvie lies. No one can trust in anyone. Trust is for children and dogs, according to Loki. The only person you can trust in is yourself, and even that's suspect. And we will see the efforts to cure this poison of the mind that has infected everyone in the show, all the way up to the top in Kang, who rejoices in the rare moments of honesty. This burden will fall onto Loki and Sylvie. Can Loki be truly honest to Sylvie? Can she trust him? Can they be with one another? The answer to this will determine whether either of them can defy fate. Can they break this grim predestination that has been imposed on them by beings from beyond the universe? And we might ask what the driving force that will serve to break Loki free is, and allow him to cease this endless pattern of lies and betrayal. It's love, and now we can see how these three central themes end up fully tied up in one another. It's love for himself or herself, though this raises the question, are they the same? And the answer, despite the many mixed messages, as I'll explain, is no. But first we need to understand who Sylvie is. She's born for a purpose, to bring chaos, necessary chaos, a force that can bring freedom to the entire universe. This is what she tells us herself. It makes her a singular threat to the order of the TVA, and even Kang. She was taken in as a kid, while just chillin', which leaves her wondering what her Nexus event was, and no answer is given to her. Everywhere she goes, a Nexus event follows. She isn't meant to exist. She's a cosmic anomaly, who can only fit in amongst an environment to match, a purely chaotic state, and that's why she hides in apocalypses. That's why the TVA is so determined to contain container. And what's beautiful about this is we can quickly grasp why she does what she does at the end of the season, where she is absolute in bringing freedom to the universe, and why the divide between her and Loki arises. You see, Loki was always in search of control. We can see this in Avengers even. He wants to subjugate people and expand his empire across all of space. He even helps the TVA in the early episodes, a small-scale version of what he would be doing in replacing Kang, an agent of order, with him at the top of all of it. He's the only person fit to be free in his eyes. Now, despite this difference in others, it's almost perfect. If Loki could trust someone, why not a variant of himself? If he can be loyal to someone, it's gotta be himself. But as he says, he needs to know if he can trust her. If a union like this functioned, it would be a rebellion against the forces of fate. Loki and Sylvie symbolize a breaking of the cycle of isolation, as Loki uncovers more about his own narrative through his variants at the end of time. Lokis are destined to be alone, shut off from family and the world, which brings him fear that twists his personality and compensation. This with Sylvie's burdensome existence and the anomaly of two variants being so close to one another, a chaotic disruption capable of breaking reality ensues. Loki is a changed man. He betrayed everyone he ever loved, but he won't betray this woman, because he's been changed by the journey, as Kang suggests he would. He loves the headache. He'll take the fall for her. He has Mobius as a voice of defiance behind him, telling him that he can be good, that he doesn't deserve to be alone. The prospect of a beautiful future for Loki starts to take hold in the imagination of the viewer, something we all yearn for. And until Loki can have something like this for himself, he can't be the free man he believed he was. Unfortunately, love cuts deep. When you reach out for it, it disappears. It's a mischievous force, and its authenticity is doubted by both of our main characters. Although this was before they became close, an experience that perhaps opened their eyes, this perspective does bleed into the later parts of the season. Despite their growing bond, seeds of doubt start to take hold as the stakes climb. For Sylvie is a Loki who could never trust. She's been deceived by too many people, and is an even greater victim of the outcast destiny. She has no friends, no one in her life at all. She doesn't belong. There is no suitable place for her, other than among pure chaos. And all of this talk about life together, ruling freely, must appear too good to be true. After all, in order to stay true to her, someone who was born to free the universe, Loki will have to relinquish a level of control over others that he could never have dreamed of before. Lokis are fated to destroy themselves for glorious power, something he will have to defy in order to stay at Sylvie's side, rejecting the throne of Asgard, rejecting the seat of Kang. These Lokis are the unfixable characters, sent to be erased from existence in the belly of an interdimensional monster. Of course, Loki can't be anything other than this lonely failure, this backstabbing wannabe conqueror. The deck is stacked against him in every possible way, and it's the weight of a truly higher authority, the greatest power in the universe, that seeks to crush Loki under its heel. But against all of this, our Loki is different, a changed man worthy of trust. However, for the future of Sylvie and Loki, and the future of the entire Marvel universe, they'll have to overcome one last obstacle, past the deceit, heartache, and absent freedom. At the end of the rainbow, past the edges of the universe, only he remains, and through him a nexus of themes is formed, one of freedom, love, and deception. Loki and Sylvie, in walking the path less traveled by, on their madly ambitious pioneering journey to the place beyond time, past the boundaries of even the TVA, find themselves once again enveloped by an encompassing force of outside influence. Their freedom has remained an illusion, a storybook in the hands of Kang. You can't escape your story, Loki. No matter how self-aware you become, you'll never be free. And rather than give in to that inescapable feeling of insignificance, we want to point at this man and call him a liar. For otherwise, it's all just a game, and Loki faults Kang for playing it, but it's hypocrisy. Loki's played games with people's lives for the entirety of his. It's a part of him, and if he wants to avoid losing the shield of protection that Kang keeps alive, him and Sylvie are gonna have to become the very thing they sought to destroy. Your price for freedom is the subjugation of others. Lead the very organization that you took down, and fill the shoes of the man you came all this way to kill. Embrace the very order that kept you and Sylvie apart, that held you captive, that kept Sylvie on the run her whole life, all in one massive turning point. Can they just walk all that back? Something so personal? Well, for Sylvie, it's just another lie, made to shelter Kang from his fear of chaos, the freedom for individuals and the universe that Sylvie was born for. And why would you believe this all-powerful being would relinquish his control? It's something Loki, someone born to rule, can't understand. But it's these conflicting innate purposes that drive a spear between Sylvie and Loki. As one person's fulfillment erases the other, they can't have both. And now that gaze of untrust that Sylvie has pointed at everyone else fixes onto Loki, as she can't see the truth beyond her trauma. As Loki pours his heart out to her in desperation, having the trust in her to put his fate in her hands. He doesn't want a throne. He won't hurt her to get what he wants. What he wants is her. This decision between freedom and determinism has cast a shadow over their relationship. Fear of deception has inflicted its toll on the love between Sylvie and Loki, and for now it seems as though it wasn't meant to be. Neither could convert the other to their side. Sylvie asks why they aren't thinking about this the same. Though they wanted to deny it, they aren't the same. In a beautiful moment of cooperation, they were convinced otherwise, but she said it herself. Loki isn't who I am anymore. Loki knew this as well. He said she can help us, she's different. For Loki, this is bigger than their experience, but Sylvie asks Kang if he's gonna beg for his life. For her, it's personal. Even given the choice, in the awe of an unwritten future, harmony remains distant. The fork in the road Loki spoke of arrives, and perhaps the wrong path is once again taken. And whose path is the wrong one? Is freedom something worth fighting this war over? Is he truly the only one fit for freedom? Is his control the path to happiness? Who is the murderer and who the liberator in Mobius's question? Does Loki, by choosing to become the new Kang, liberate the universe from the tyranny of the TVA, or murder the variants of the timeline for their crime of being different? Or is he inevitably both? Would he himself even be free with all the knowledge of the future, or would he yearn for that surprise of the unknown that gave Kang so much amazement? Would he be eternally committing himself to the role of deceiver and miss the honesty that gave Kang so much relief? Is he destined to lose no matter what he does? Is that what it is to be a Loki? As I said earlier, those rare moments of honesty shine so brightly, and never brighter than in loneliness and death. In the eyes of Kang as he passes on, Sylvie is struck with fear as she sees the unbiased truth of his words, and the eyes of Loki as he reflects on everything he's lost, plainly and depressingly reveal his authenticity. I believe that Loki changed. He found someone he could be real with, someone he could put aside his other ambitions for, but for now he remains the god of outcasts. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. This is your boy Woski, signing out.